Here comes the news with a twist and a grin. Stephen Allen diving in again. Almost daily, but always sharp. He'll hit your brain like a lightning spark. Stephen Allen, almost daily. Laughs and facts, served out plainly. Your dose of wit, it's never shady. Stephen Allen, almost daily.
Hello, and welcome to another Stephen Allen Almost Daily, broadcasting the live stream slightly later than planned. I'll give you that. I'll give you that much. It's because, well, you know, we'll get into that in a sec. The audio version, the MP3 version, is still going to be available on Spotify. It's the Friday one. I realise maybe this is the new take on it, actually. I've done very little prep for this, and this is why we've gone in late. I was thinking of not doing one today, but there's just enough time to fit one in. I'm not doing a run today. It's raining. So what I thought we'd do, Joodle saying bonus in the chat, so you're quite right, this is a bonus episode in a sense. I've done very little prep. I had to spend this morning doing a voiceover, which took me longer than planned. I hit the deadline with 3 minutes to spare, so I've already talked a lot. It was an 8,000 word voiceover on some healthcare thing. Man alive. Which means I've done less prep than normal. And I only know this much, not to try and start today's episode looking at front pages. I don't imagine that's going to be a happy thing. But what I thought we could do is, well, firstly, I should tell you that I'm enjoying a nice cup of tea. I've got this on the go. ASMR pervs can enjoy that. And also go through the post. Got a letter from a bank. I'm going to show you the letter. It's my replacement card. I got a new card replacement. What I did notice, though, I've seen this before. It's never really struck me as so weird. Look, this is the bit of the letter. You know, you take your letter out of your bank thing. Do we have your correct address? If not, please tell your branch. That's on a letter. How would I have seen this if you hadn't have got my address correct? Do you know what I mean? I'm not the only one there. I'm not the only one who spotted a problem there, am I? They're making it look like they care, but they're making no work for themselves. No one is having to go into the branch and talk about this. I know their tricks. Building society, building my acity. And then also, while we're going through post, I've got a few things delivered. It's my missus' birthday as well. It's another reason why I didn't have a lot of time today. And I've got to wrap some items. To be fair, she has asked for some items, and they're never like romantic fans. They're all like, here's what I need. Could you get me this? And then I'll get them for her. And then she's like, oh, yeah. Like later in the year, she's like, oh, you got me these really perfunctory gifts. That's what you asked for. This year, she wanted a garlic thingy and a apple or a cherry pitter. She's already got the garlic one. This is a cherry pitter. I think I remember Cherry Pitter's first album. But this is a corker. No, a cora. I don't know what it is. It's a thing to get the apples out. And it says here, to avoid danger of suffocation, please keep this plastic bag away from babies and children. Do not use this bag in cribs, beds, carriages, or playpens. How many toddlers are you letting core their own apples? Just take the wrapping off anyway. So look, I've already started today just being surrounded by pointless signs. I used to do a thing in one of the Edinburgh shows I did. Genuinely, when I lived in Kent, there was a local news story. The council had banned a shop selling a certain item, and the item was a peanut butter, and they'd banned it because the label didn't say may contain nuts, but it was called peanut butter. So you'd presume that there would be nuts in it. And as I used to say on stage, if there were no peanuts in your peanut butter, you've just bought butter. So you'd expect it. And the item in question was called 3-nut butter. So if you didn't think that there were 3 nuts, at least 3 nuts in your butter. What, is this the butter for men who've got, that genetic condition where they've got an extra one? Oh, yeah, I've also got to do some email. Oh, look at that. So my voiceover has been accepted. All right, that's good. So that's the wrapping going to happen in a bit. We're not doing front pages. Hi-ho Kermit says, was about to ask you, wasn't Steve coming on today? Yeah, the voiceover took longer. Who else we got in the comments? Oh, Non-Stick Nick's here as well. Hello, Non-Stick Nick. Normally, this is a podcast where we review the news, but I'm starting to think maybe Friday we just go through my post. It feels like a thing. I can't be news reviewing all the time, can I? although I am tomorrow morning on Talk Radio. It's a good time to plug. I don't know who's on. Is it Alex back on breakfast or is Mark still doing it? Either way, I'll be there. This has also turned up in the post today. Show business. The 2026 Equity Diary. And what I like about this Equity Diary, you know, if you're in showbiz, you're in equity. If you go through because when you get the diary, everyone loves the diary. In fact, let's open up the zoom in. What you can see down here is, in the Equity Diary, look at that. No bookings in. That tells you how my career is going. It's good that they send you a reminder. They take your union fees and then go, here, how much of this is booked up already? Not a lot. So if you want to get involved in the chat, you certainly can do. We'll do a bit of that today. I'll go through some bits of the newspapers. I've also found this. It's a note. What I was doing when editing the voiceover, I got my watch to measure my blood pressure. 109/70. That's pretty good, isn't it? That's a low blood pressure thing for a man of my age. So there we go. We'll go through them. I trimmed these out of the newspapers, barely looking at the story. So I've got no idea what we're doing, but we'll see. Hi-ho Kermit says, Digi ID, I'm furious. They're ignoring us. And, the digital ID thing. My newspaper column in the Romford Recorder out today. It was out on Tuesday's Swindon Advertiser. It's in various publications, local papers all over the thing, talking about digital ID and how I don't like it. I'm not sure. Even though I'm aware of the fact that I'm the boring person who can definitely just go along with having an app and it won't impact my life. I don't like it. I don't like it because I remember growing up and the films where it was either the bad guys during the war or the bad guys during the Cold War were the show me your papers ones. We were very much not the show me your papers ones. And I quite like that. Do normal people still get posts, says Joodles? I get one of those pamphlets offering elasticated waist corduroy slacks and memory foam slippers every month or so. That's it. You know, I still get plenty of final demands, all that kind of stuff. Stuff about the car tax, that's coming up. Non-Stick Nick giving me the old Vulcan. Nice. They've responded, Aristivan, and they're not even debating it. Who's debating what? Give me some info on that one. We might make some more of it. But let's go inside the newspapers.
Let's get inside the news.
It almost jumped again, didn't it? Even though we're not. This is an interesting one. This is a public safety announcement, which I'm sure is what you expect on this show. Metals fear Harry. Potter's mugs. How is it? Right, we'll get into that in a sec. TK Maxx is warning shoppers to stop drinking from Harry Potter mugs immediately due to fears over unsafe metals. Yeah. But also, how is the word muggles not used in the headline? I feel like they've definitely wasted their time there. Oh, I see. Oh, we'll get to that in a sec. The retail giant is recalling their Potter and South Park mugs because they do not meet safety standards. Harry Potter mug from Blue Sky Design Limited allowed Potterheads to create their own Hogwarts. Yeah, not for long, though, by the looks of it. You have to be careful with them, they're metals. They're not all good for you. Get some molybdenum. Other than that, you don't really need them. Let's do this one. Next of Skins a Miracle. This news story is kind of a couple of days old. So again, a bit upset about the £1.20 that I spent on this newspaper for old news, but we didn't cover it before. Chris is not in the comment section, but yesterday he very much helped out by donating to Ko-fi, which means I can afford to buy newspapers for like 10 more episodes. Babies could be carried to full term in machines in huge scientific breakthrough. Skin cells. This is the first part. Skin cell. This is the news I've heard. You can use skin cells, turn them into like a gamete cell. Then you can get a male gamete. You can, I think that's how they do it. But then you need a surrogate mother. But now they're saying that Boffs from Oregon Health and Science University says it means that more people who can't naturally have children could do so now by using a machine. Loads of people I've seen interviewed about this saying that it's the erasure of women. But then who's going to look after the kids? Sorry. Who's going to park badly when I'm trying to drop the kids off? I say that as a bloke who does more looking after the kids than anyone else. I'm allowed to do that joke, I think. University added, many women are unable to have a family because they have lost their eggs. Oh, this is good. So we can also have really, really old ladies. Good. No, that'll really improve the quality of parking near my school. Where's the side cam? Hang on. I've still got that. There you go. There's the side cam. Back into the comment section. Yes, the digital ID. They've responded. They're not debating it. So this is the petition where people were saying we don't want digital IDs, and it went way over. It's a couple of 100,000 you need, isn't it, to get it debated? And we're talking millions who signed it. Was it 2 million or something? And they're not debating it. I'm not happy about this. Not happy about this. The government checked the petition page. I didn't sign it because I didn't want to give them my email address. Felt like that's what they were doing this for. You know what I mean? Data scraping. Because they strike me. Get Big Brother watch on. Until they've had a word, I'm not sure. I didn't even get a drink of that, did I? Dystopia, we have arrived, says Joodles. The idea that you can have babies made in machines, like vending machine things. It is a bit grim, isn't it? Yeah, it's a bit grim. I do separate out the difference between science and technology with this, though. The scientists, it's perfectly fine for them to work out how and if it's possible, because that's the kind of research that leads to other stuff. But then the idea of turning it into something that you can pay for, I don't like about that. You can't hold back the science. Someone somewhere will work out, like when the zeitgeisty information's there, like what's the next step of knowledge, that will happen. But we should be careful before we go, we can do it now. Let's turn it into a thing that you can just, put your coin in the slot, out comes a baby. Not sure about that. 2.7 million, was it, who signed the petition? That's a lot of email addresses they've got. I'm very much feeling less frantic about this Friday episode. It's really calm. I've got a blood pressure of 109/70. This is my kind of broadcasting. What have I got here? Oh, speaking of which. Fruit and veg diet lifesaver. A diet rich in fruit and vegetables and low in meat and dairy could prevent about 15 million deaths a year. No. Well, this is the first time this has ever cropped up, isn't it? A planetary health diet is linked. Planetary is linked to a 27% reduction in risk of premature death. But isn't one of the bigger problems that we've got a lot of old people living longer? Pension age are kicking in. When pensions were brought in, the life expectancy was 3 years beyond that, and now it's like decades. We can't fund it, and now we even hide it from the screen. Why are we telling people how to live longer? Keep this information to yourself. Fruit and veg. Have you tried doing driving badly? That'll help you live longer. And Alton Towers, or just in general extreme sports, not specifically Alton Towers. I'll get sued by them. Hi Ho Kermit says, I don't think Schaefer would agree. Yes, I think he very much has some beliefs about the healthcare system, and he may well be right. And he also does not have a blood pressure of 109/70. So it's up to you, isn't it? You follow whomever you wish in this. Creepy Cookies, spooky season has officially begun as Greg started flogging its pumpkin biscuits and Halloween buns. Yeah, no, I'm sure it has. I'm not sure the official start of Halloween is when Greggs decides that it happens. But, I mean, the coffee shops have already been doing their spice pumped latte things, haven't they? Pumped is probably not what they do. Is that what it is? A spice pumped latte. My missus bought an air freshener, but not because she's middle class. And I'm working class. So for me, an air freshener would be something that you spray. Maybe something you plug in, because I'm not averse to the idea of modern technology. She has like a reed diffuser thing. And she's gone for Halloween spiced pumpkin. It's a hideous... Oh, it's musky. You don't want any... It's a bit too close. Do you know what I mean? Oof, it'll stop burglars. But I'm not sure it improves anything else. Just going to throw away my blood pressure thing as well. He absolutely wouldn't. Says, well, yes, yeah. He's getting away with that. He's eating his 5 a day. Savings add up to glee. I've not read this one at all. Canny savers get a thrill from putting money aside with as little as £30, making them feel good. Of those who save the most... Oh, sorry, saving them... Well, you say that. But I've got one of them there standing orders to myself, which feels weird. I'll grant you that. It's a little bit masturbatorial. But in one of my bank accounts, the place that knows my address, you might have seen them mentioned earlier. I've got this thing where every month 50 quid goes out from one account into the other for this regular saving thing. Got to be honest, does not bring me glee. How miserable is your life when the thing that's given you some sense of pleasure is, I've transferred 30 quid into my savings. Am I doing it wrong? Should I be manually going in there rather than just getting the standing order to do it? I can't help think, maybe I've lived too much of a good life. If I hadn't seen some riches, I could live with being poor. Saving 30 quid a month is not the thing that's going to get me off. Some messages coming through. I have one of those standing orders too. It makes me feel so smug, says Joodles. Does it? It just happens, doesn't it? And Martin says one of my bank accounts. Well, it's not that la-di-da. You get your current account, your e-saver that everyone's set up thinking, do you know what? Why keep money in my current account because there's no interest rate there? I get an e-saver. And then you realise that's 1% because they've absolutely shafted us with that. So you have to open up a flexi save or a flibby save or some other stupid word. And when you open that up, that was like, because it's 4.5%. I'll put the money in there. Of course I will. Instead of 1%, which about a year later it's back down to 1% as well. So you have to open up another saving account. Then, of course, you need to have an ISA. You might as well use your ISA as your main saving because I can't put 20 grand in there. So it's all absolutely flipping pointless. The Swiss one. I don't have a Swiss account, Martin. I do have a Swiss watch. Well, no, I have inquired as to this. If the Swiss wristwatch strap shop shuts, which shop still sells Swiss wristwatch straps? Every time. Can't say normal things. Can say that. Hi-ho Kermit says, he's 68. He's got a fair few years on us, Steve. He has. No, that's true. We're talking about Lewis. I'm not judging his blood pressure figures. I'm just saying I got better ones. I know I shouldn't boast about that because it's not for good reason. I'm slightly hypermobile, and apparently we just tend to have lower blood pressure. Low blood pressure is more my worry, which means, this winds up so many people, I have to have salt on my food. Even if I don't fancy the salt, I have to put a bit on there to keep my blood pressure up. That makes me smug. That makes me far smugger than transferring 50 quid to myself. It's like taking your wallet out of one trouser pocket and putting it in the back pocket instead. Do you know what I mean? I'm not that dumb as to think, I've made a saving there. Who gave that money? I did. It's no. Hi-ho Kermit says, like any of these savers, keep it with inflation. Might as well buy silver or gold. Well, I was definitely with you on the first bit. I don't know. As soon as they crack this alchemy, mate, your gold savings are going through the floor. Blood pressure. Is that what I said? Like, I can't really, I can't speak, but I can say something about Swiss wristwatch straps. What if it turns out that high blood pressure is actually what we need, though? Interesting. Possibly. Statistically seems to be linked to more health conditions than it fixes. But, you go for it. You roll that dice. Hi-ho Kermit says, I have a few years on you and my blood pressure is amazing, according to the doctor a few weeks ago. So don't be too smug. I say I'm not smug. My problem's the other way. But whenever you see people get stressed about their high blood pressure, I just like to boast about my low one. I don't tell them why it's low. I just like to see them get stressed, which is probably cruel given what they're suffering with. Friendly Alexa, a bot bud. And I'm not going to do yesterday's joke where I pretend bot means bottom and an Alexa is a woman. And I could have done. We definitely could have chatted about some woman called Alexa putting a bot on you. AI devices like Alexa, Siri, or ChatGPT are considered friends by some folk. This is another story of the end of humanity, isn't it? 1 in 5 Brits believe they have a genuine pal in their virtual assistants. Genuine in the 3 words later, the word virtual should be the big clue there, shouldn't it? I've got a genuine friend in this thing that doesn't exist. Graham Collingwood, 26. Oh, 26 as well. It's all right if you're using AI to keep yourself from being lonely when you're, on the cusp of going into the home. You're 26, mate, and you live in Tunbridge. He says, I kind of treat Alexa as a friend. There are places to go in Tunbridge. You're near Tunbridge Wells. That's a fancier place to go. I always say hello to her and please and thank you. And I say good night. This is a guy who's one Temu shop away from getting a sex doll. You know it. We know it. Martin says it's like having a relationship with a spreadsheet. I'm sure I've used that. I used that comment before. Joodles, I say goodnight to it. Yeah. I've often talked about this as well. This is going to be a bit too blue for YouTube, but we can get away with it. It should be possible to make blokes seem like the more wholesome ones than the women. And I'll try and do this using a language that we can broadcast. But the ladies seem to, when they have an artificial replacement for the role of a lover, they just have the one item that is the shape of the one part of the body that they're interested in. The rest of it, nah. Now that you could frame that as like, who's the lascivious priapic one there? Right? It didn't get that in the auto captions. Priapism. Yeah, you didn't know it. Good in many ways. But when the blokes do it, they have the full doll. The hair, the face, that should be seen as more wholesome than just having the bit. It's not like the blokes just do it with the two, and the... That would be weird, but doable, but that's not what blokes do. And you think that's really wholesome until you see some guy who owns one of these dolls on This Morning going like, I think she's lovely. Oh, you ruined it. You're a pest. You shouldn't be allowed near the plug. Martin says Tunbridge might not be Tunbridge Wells or Sevenoaks, but it's not that bad. Yeah, last time I was there were quite a few roadworks on the high street, but it's all right, isn't it? Non-Stick Nick says, I always say thank you to AI, hoping it will remember I was nice to it when it ultimately takes over. You'll be one of the few that are spared. I think it's a good plan. Hi Ho Kermit says, my MOT in service cost me 400 quid, but I did drive away with an MOT. All right, yeah, I've got an MOT. All right. The latest on that, by the way, I've still not had my headlight fixed, and the electrical expert guy was going to come around to do it. He said he couldn't do it on the day I called because he was on antibiotics, and now he's in hospital. There is something of an irony, and I wish him well, and I'm not being glib, but of course I'm being glib. He's an electrics guy, but there's a problem with his plumbing. So who knows what's happening with the car. Fortunately, I do have a second car. That you can go on about. That does make me a bit, ooh, la-di-da. 2 bank accounts is nothing. 2 cars, a bit much. Lotto's worth a gamble. Brits admit to getting a buzz from gambling, even if it's a go on the lottery. Well, yes. Again, of course, no one's doing well financially at this. The only reason to gamble is the thrill of the gamble. If you think it's going to all be about the winnings, you've not understood what gambling is. A study found twice as many considered their the latest flutter enjoyable compared to those who said it was negative. Good, because if you were basing it entirely on how much money you'd win, you would feel really bad about it and no one would do it. It is slightly worrying, isn't it, that all the shops that shut down on High Street seem to get replaced by betting shops. Because it's not like you made a thing, is it? Like, if you sell tables, at least there are more tables in the world. Betting, some people feel a momentary bit of pleasure, but they've given away some money. Whereas if we learn on today's show, if you bet with yourself, and when you lose the bet with yourself, you take the money and put it in a savings account, you'd feel pretty good. I never thought this show would actually turn into some useful information. WTH Random Friday Live. Why wasn't I notified? Says Proper Memes. It is, yeah. Sorry. It's a Random Friday Live. I barely even know the news. We're more talking about other stuff. The thrill, gambling terrifies me, says Martin, hence my blood pressure issues. Now, this picture is why I started to get confused with this story. There's a picture, right? Strictly agony, Danny promises to bounce back. Depressed Danny Dyer has vowed to get my big girl knickers on. And of course I fell for the phone because it's Danny Dyer in the picture and apparently Danny Dyer. But my brain didn't clock the spelling. And I was like, is that how he gets the confidence to do what he does? He seems to be all very confident when he's in EastEnders, and not that I've ever watched him in it, or all very confident in the films. Never watched a film with him. But you get the setup that I'm trying to establish here. He seems to be confident at work. And is he getting that confidence because of his big girl knickers? Well, I'll give it a try. No, that's not what I was thinking of doing. But there you go. But apparently it's the girl one. She left Strictly. Okay, that's a really important story. Anyone want to talk to me about sandwiches again from yesterday? Right. Oh, let's zoom in on this one. You really can't beat a meal cooked by your mum, scientists reckon. Thanks, scientists. Obviously, mine's dead. Thanks for bringing that up. Researchers did a blind taste test and found that people found scoffing food cooked by a loved one was easily the best. I suppose it is impressive, isn't it, really, that you can tell. The fact that you can tell is not necessarily the same as it's the best. I reckon, no, not being too harsh to my mum, I could have worked out which dinner was prepared by my mum and which one was prepared by a professional chef by hearing the microwave ping. That would be the giveaway. Ping! Oh, look, we've got a mixture of cold and hot vegetables and fish fingers. A lot of fish fingers went off in my childhood. It wasn't until I moved away from home that the main colour in my dinner started to become green again. When I was growing up, the primary colour, not that it's a primary colour, but the main colour was orange. Beans, tinned ravioli, fish fingers, breaded anythings, really. It's very much an orange plate. It's probably why I've grown up and become, I don't mind Donald Trump. Reminds me of mum's cooking. Let's have a look. It worked for Bridget Jones, says Hi-Ho Kermit. The big pants, I could give it a go. The girl one, that's the thing. Big girl knickers is his what 3 words? Oh, you'd have to move. Imagine if where you lived, your location was big girl knickers. There must be an algorithm we can set up to work out all the places on the globe that have embarrassing what 3 words. Can someone do that? Because I do not have time. Let's have a look. Were you the one of the lads in the Butterflies? Yes. Well, I'm not that old. Come on. I feel it. Plea for woman top bish. I've not caught up with the news. I've been busy doing the thing all day. Today's the day when we find out about the new Archbishop of Canterbury. But failing to appoint a first female Archbishop of Canterbury would be a missed opportunity, it's been claimed. Professor Helen King, a member of the Church of England's Parliament, was speaking as the replacement for Justin Welby. I forgot, is it really a replacement for Justin Welby? He's been so long gone from the job that now it feels like it's not replacing him. It's replacing the gap that's been left for like half a year or whatever it's been. And it's just down the road from Tunbridge, so you could go and help out that other guy before he buys too many of his dolls. Yep. I really shouldn't have cut this one out. I don't give 2 flips. Yes, have an Archbishop of Canterbury as a woman. They already wear dresses. Feels like you're halfway there. I'm a traditionalist. Hi-Ho Kermit says, well, one was Lyndhurst, so you must be the curly one. I live near... I can't say that on YouTube. They don't know Priapism, but I bet they know that word. And we got one, says Martin. I'm not sure what you've got. The doll from Timu. What's this one? Glasto Van Van. A hippie village that welcomed travellers for years is now overrun with 300. Glastonbury MP Sarah Dyke said, oh, that's going to get me demonetised, said the town does not have the necessary infrastructure to support those living in vans, such as basic sanitation. It's almost like that is a metaphor for the actual issue that needs to be discussed when it comes to migration. Wow. You can be opening, and yet there is such a concept as mathematically too much. And yet, you try and say that anywhere else, you get cancelled. Let's have a look. I've got 2 stories left, by the way. And that last one's weird. Isn't this a news show? Says Martin. It's not. Normally it is, but I think the Friday special where I go off topic is not a bad shout. Motors a beast or baby. Oh, I spotted this story. Yeah, I quite like this. Baby, Beast and Bella are the most popular nicknames given to cars in the UK. Half of drivers admit to having names for their motors. I don't think you should. Have you tried growing up? It's just try it. There's a chance that you don't name your car and you crack on with life. Also, I think the kind of people who name their cars are the kind of people who have those stick-on eyelashes. They can jog on as well. I think you should have your license revoked. If anyone catches you with one of those dancing sunflower things, maybe you could have if you've got a VW, whatever. But the eyelashes on the front, no. And you didn't get the sticker on the back, especially for pink cars. I've seen the ones that say powered by fairy dust, and I've always wanted to rush up to one of those when the woman's like refilling it at the petrol station and go, "Stop, you idiot! You're putting the wrong one in, that's petrol." But I've never been brave enough. But also, I don't think they get the joke. I'm fairly sure they don't get many jokes. Proper Meme says, my car is called Money Pit. Yep. Steve's motor is called Cyclops. It's not that it's only got one headlight. It's got one proper headlight, and the other headlight, for some reason, is passing voltage through both the main beam and the full beam. So it's gone. It's winking, which probably is going to get me in more trouble, isn't it? So there is a female archbishop. Is that actually what's happened? I could Google it when we get to the end of this. I can't even remember my reg number as I find my own cost in every car park. What? As I find to my own cost in every car park. There's an app, not that remembers your reg number. That feels like that's any app could do that, but I've got one that knows exactly where I've parked as well. Oh, it's pretty good. Get your car name from ChatGPT. I don't want to name my car because I'm a grown adult. Plus, also, I've got 2 cars, so I'd have to, I want to get attached. Right? I've told you though, the one car for the family is a good car. The one that I'm trying to get fixed, I don't know why I still have it. For some reason, I love the idea of keeping this absolutely knackered car. The door was stove in a while ago. I checked online and it was worth 200 quid. At some point, if you wait long enough, it'll go around and become a classic again, won't it? How long will it take for a 63-plate Toyota Aygo to become a classic? And, oh, you mean camera, says Hi-Ho Kermit. Yes, you can use your camera to take a picture of your car. It's not a bad one. I have a photo of my reg number on my phone as well as my VIN. You got the VIN number, the chassis number, just in case you need to sell it in a dodgy way. Vanessa Feltz's ex, Ben, he was on GB News as well. I was in the building at the same time as him, but never met him. He's become a nudist after stripping off for his racy new job. What is his job? The Fats and Small Star. No, I did not know he was that. He's playing Noah the horse. Wait. Wait. Why is he called the horse? Don't answer. Being nude in front of 1,500 people a night takes away your inhibitions. I feel I'm in quite good shape for a 53-year-old. I feel like I've become a nudist. Well, Ben's got to turn around. He'd hope so. He'd have someone's eye out with that. I didn't realise he was in Fats and Small. It feels like there's a joke there as well. Because he was in a relationship with Vanessa Feltz. And do you know what I mean? I don't want to do the joke. I'm presuming we all get the joke. And, well, there we go. I must have told you the story. I did a gig in Orpington. There's a naturist place in Orpington. So I used to live in Gravesend, which is why I know Tunbridge very well, and got booked for this gig in Orpington. I was like, it's just down the road. Yeah, why would I? Of course I do it. And then on the week of the gig, they sent through the details with the address of like Orpington Naturist Reserve. And I was like, is this where there are a lot of animals? And all the details are, they were in the nude. And thankfully, I did not have to be, as one of the comedians on. I've never performed to a naked audience before. They do say, if you get nervous, imagine the audience naked, and explains why my blood pressure is so low. They were. My imagination had to do no work. It's quite nice because when they all like stand up and sit down on the plastic chairs, it sounded like you got a round of applause. So the evening started well, is what I'm saying. I think we're up to date. Get rid of all these. Judel says, nice stereotyping, Steve. I thought you might have missed that one, but... Do a gig in Tunbridge, says Martin. No one ever comes here. They do, when they're driving from Gravesend to get to Tunbridge Wells. That's the only reason I know it. I've nipped through there. The train goes through there, if ever you're struggling. I think we're basically up to date. Do a gig... I'm not saying that one, Hi-Ho Kermit. You're trying to get me cancelled. Thank you for partaking in this Friday mess. Maybe we'll see next week. I'm not sure what's going to happen. I quite like the roughly going through news with even less focus than normal. Proper Meme says Steve's gig had squeaky bum time. I don't know if they were squeaking. The woman who organised it, well, do you know what? You don't need my take. I'm not there to review them. I was performing for them, not them for me, which is very much a shame. But it was nice. It was an enjoyable evening, had by all. We are basically up to date. I'm gigging in Vauxhall tonight. And then I don't think I gig again until next weekend, which is in Wimbledon. Tomorrow morning on Talk Radio with whomever's doing breakfast. That'll be nice. I say nice. It's not going to be the funnest. Look at what the main news is. it's going to be tricky, isn't it? As much as it would be lovely to go on there and just get to talk about the news from the Labour Party conference, other stuff has happened. So I guess we'll be talking about that. All Hit Radio online every day. Just search for All Hit Radio. You can hear the radio show broadcasting from 1 o'clock today. First bit's pre-recorded, you might notice. And no non-stick name. I'm not performing in a Vauxhall. I'm performing in Vauxhall. I'd love to be in a Vauxhall or a Toyota. Whatever I could drive. Anything that passes its MOT would do for me right now. But tomorrow night, Steve's gigging it and I go, I wish. And you could, I wouldn't ask for money after today's episode. If you enjoy next Tuesdays, maybe put some money in the Ko-fi then. But today was very much all over the shop, not worthy of the dosh. You should also Substack. I ain't going to get time for much, but do get subscribed. I'm really annoyed, actually, because things have been so busy. When there was the story of the Starmer calling that policy racist, there's such a logical takedown you could do about whether a policy is racist by looking at who it actually impacts. Didn't get time for it. Oh, so annoyed. Because the difference between the Reform policy and the Labour policy seems to just be time. The Reform was saying we'll change leave to remain retrospectively. Labour says that's racist. And then Labour brings in the same rules, but only going forwards. So are you saying ethnic people only exist in the past? Do you know what I mean? How can that be racist? Oh, I wish I could have written all I had to say on that one. Plus loads of other stuff I've started and never finished. But I do promise to find a way to do more. Maybe I'm not doing these. This tea's coming back on me. Oh, all right. Thanks. It's not even doing energy drink of the day. Tea of the day. It's an afternoon blend, which is fitting, isn't it? Thanks for watching, and until next time, wrong one.
Here comes the news with a twist and a grin. Steve and Alan diving in again. Almost daily, but always sharp. He'll hit you.